With all of this adulation that you're getting for doing your job, are you thinking about running for president? Tell the audience.
No. No.
No, you won't answer?
No, I answered. The answer is no.
No, you're not thinking about it?
Sometimes it's one word. I said no.
Have you thought about it?
No.
Are you open to thinking about it?
No.
Might you think about it at some point?
No.
How can you know what you might think about at some point right now?
Because I know what I might think about and what I won't think about. But you're a great interviewer, by the way.
Appreciate it. Learn from the best. The point is this. What do you think of
Thank you.
him trying to play you against Biden? That's what's going on here. He's trying to say Joe Biden is weak. Look, even Cuomo is stronger than he is, and he's not even running. What's your response?
Again, that's your interpretation of what you think the president was saying. I know Joe Biden many, many years. I worked with him when he was vice president. He has been a tremendous asset to the state of New York when he was vice president with President Obama. So I've worked with him on a professional level. I know him very well personally. I can't say enough good things about Joe Biden. So I think he's a great public servant. I think he has been extraordinary on a number of levels. I think he's a good man. I think he has a good heart. I think he has a good soul. I think he's well-meaning. He's knowledgeable as heck. He has wisdom. And I think he's a leader. You know, at one point, Chris, it comes down to a simple concept. It's about leadership, right? The experience, the wisdom, the capacity to do the job. Not just think about it, not just talk about it, not just tweet about it, do the job.
If there is one tiny silver lining to this crisis, it's that we've been able to watch these two brothers, Governor Andrew Cuomo of New York and CNN's Chris Cuomo, interact on air most nights. And if you have siblings, seeing them at each other's throats on national television does have a charm to it. As for the actual content of what they're saying, that there's buzz around a Cuomo presidency is a testament to the fact that good leadership is rewarded. Cuomo currently has a 71% favorability rating, his best in 7 years, and a 27-point spike from February. And 87% of New Yorkers approve of his performance in the crisis. And that's because Cuomo has stuck to the facts. He's held daily press conferences relaying exactly what's happening on the ground, what hospitals need, and what the actual outlook at that moment is. They haven't been pretty, and at times are the farthest thing from relaxing, but it's the truth, and people appreciate that. Contrast that with Trump, who has predicated his response to this crisis on an outright absence of truth. Since day one, Trump downplayed the severity of the outbreak for the sole purpose of protecting himself politically. He didn't want to say anything that would spook the markets and cause a downturn and ruin the gains in the Dow ahead of November. And so he attacked Democrats who rightly sounded the alarms by claiming that this was their new hoax to take him down, akin to impeachment or the Russia investigation. He claimed that the worst was behind us, that we would soon be down to 0 cases, that anyone who wants a test could get a test, and that the outbreak was completely contained. All outright lies that didn't even come close to withstanding the test of time. The American people don't need to hear lies because they're momentarily calming. We need to hear the truth so we know how to prepare. Because if we'd heard the truth from Trump in the beginning, we'd have known how important quick action was. We'd have begun practicing social distancing and staying inside and flattening the curve. Because while we watched Republicans ridicule these life-saving measures as extreme, all we did was waste precious time, only to then have to adopt those measures later anyway. Except now it's only a fraction as effective as we're seeing infections soar. The point of all of this is that leadership matters, and clearly the American people are responding better to elected officials who are honest and real over elected officials who've treated the pandemic like a campaign rally. Also, something of note here is that Governor Cuomo refuses to take the bait when Chris says, pretty deftly in my opinion, that any praise Trump gives to Cuomo only serves the purpose of contrasting him with Joe Biden, that even the guy who isn't running is stronger than Joe. Now, first off, of course that's what Trump is doing. Trump's entire world revolves around attacking Joe Biden. He literally got himself impeached over the guy. So if you think that Donald Trump isn't going to try and exploit a pandemic for political purposes, then I have one hell of a Ukraine story to tell you. But the fact that Governor Cuomo can't even acknowledge this is proof that he knows that any criticism of Trump will hinder his ability to get cooperation from the federal government in terms of securing life-saving equipment and gear. Cuomo is, rightly, playing the game because his top priority is saving lives. But the fact that this game needs to be played, the fact that the leader of a state at the epicenter of the outbreak needs to tiptoe around the president or even have to praise him before Trump would deign to move for them, is a testament to just how sick and depraved this president is. That his ego ego is more important than getting Americans what they need to survive. And yet we're seeing this phenomenon play out on a daily basis. Consider the fact that the only state to have its full request for equipment fulfilled from the national stockpile, which the federal government's Department of Health and Human Services oversees, was Florida. Meanwhile, Massachusetts has only received 17% of what they requested, Oregon received 10%, New Jersey received 6%, Maine received 5%, and Colorado received enough to last them one single day. In fact, not only did Florida have its full request fulfilled, they got an identical second order and are even awaiting a third. Of course, I'm sure that has nothing to do with the fact that all of those states are of little electoral importance to Trump, while Florida is the only one with a Republican governor and is actually important to him electorally. And so knowing this, of course Cuomo is going to tread lightly, because Trump's pettiness isn't just theoretical, it's playing out in real time as he plays God depending on the political benefits of each state. So governors like Andrew Cuomo will continue to navigate the political waters that they're being forced to navigate and to do whatever is necessary to protect their citizens. But Americans should take note that even in a global crisis, some leaders are looking out for the American people while others are looking out for themselves.